Hey guys, NSC85. Tonight I'm down at the shop and I'm going to condition my new build with something I received in the mail. Thank you very much, Ed. Some FIREClean. And I'm going to show the process on how to condition a firearm with FIREClean that was previously never conditioned with FIREClean. I'm going to show you how to strip it with the isopropyl alcohol and then apply it. So you'll need a 1-inch paintbrush, some Q-tips, some paper towels, and of course the firearm that you want to apply it to. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to want to do is make sure that the firearm is safe. We'll pull back the charging handle, nothing in the chamber, no magazine, and we're going to go ahead and do a basic field strip. Separate the upper from the lower, and I'm going to set the lower aside for now and just be focusing on the upper. Go ahead and remove the bolt carrier group, charging handle, and I'm actually going to remove this too because I'm going to apply the FIREClean to the fur frond shroud, CRD, and that's basically it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use some rubbing alcohol to remove any of the previous lubricant that I was using to absolutely every single part possible. Now it's going to be a tedious process for me, so I'll probably skip around, but I'll show you the major components that you need to pay attention to. Just to give you a better example of what I'm doing here, as you can see there's previous lubrication that I have on here, and I'm literally just taking the rubbing alcohol, just wiping it down as best I can. You should see the sheen go away, and it should pretty much look dry. So as you can see, it's completely dry now since the lube has been wiped off, and that's what I'm doing to all the parts here. Alright, so I got all the parts stripped with rubbing alcohol, and taking a look at the instructions here, after you remove all the existing lubricant, then you want to apply the oil to the parts and allow it to soak overnight. Wipe it off and then reapply. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some FIREClean, and then we'll be letting it sit overnight. I think to start off here I'm going to apply it to this. You're going to unscrew the cap, and there's this plug here. Don't throw it away, you want to hang on to that because you want to put it back each time. Here on the carrier you can tell it's really dry after that rubbing alcohol. The important part to keep in mind is that you literally want to put this everywhere, especially in here. You only need to use a couple drops, but on the first application you're probably going to want to use it a little bit more liberally just to make sure that you have all the parts covered with FIREClean. I actually think what I'm going to do to make sure that I get on the inside there is I'm going to apply some to this cloth. And stick it in there with the Q-tip and move it around. One thing I'm noticing is that I had previously cleaned this really well, and I'm actually getting carbon off already that I didn't know was even there, so that's kind of cool. Important part on the bolt is definitely the lugs, and then also on the tail here. Make sure you get that real good. Alright, for inside the upper, that's what you're going to want the 1-inch paintbrush for, and I'm just going to drip a couple drips in there, and then I'm going to take the paintbrush and make sure I spread that literally everywhere inside here. Make sure and get everything in here as well. You want the entire inside of that covered. I'm going to put one drop right inside behind the lugs there. And I'm just going to spin it around and let it soak in. and use my brush and get up in there. And as you can see, it's nice and shiny now. So I have all my parts with the FIREClean applied, and I'm going to do what the directions say and just let it sit overnight. So I'll be back. Okay, so we've had these sitting overnight, and I'm going to go ahead and wipe off and then reapply a thin coat. I just want to point out too that it does say that this is non-hazardous, non-toxic, odorless, biodegradable, so I don't need to wear gloves. I just don't like stuff on my hands, so that's why I'm wearing the gloves. So we'll go ahead and notice here that it appears to have soaked in. So I'm going to wipe all the excess off on all the parts. You can see that it's actually got some residual stuff there that's coming off. It's kind of neat. Okay, after wiping down all the parts of the excess, I did get some residual carbon off for sure. So that's actually pretty impressive because, like I said, I detailed cleaned this before I applied all this, so that's pretty neat. Now, following the directions here, it does say that on parts that you wish to fully condition, apply multiple thin layers of FIREClean until the oil is no longer absorbed into the metal. So that is what I'm going to do. Again, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it does appear to be soaking into the metal. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some extra coats here to the rest of the parts, and then I'll be back to reassemble it and see how it cycles. It's supposed to cycle a lot smoother, so we'll see. Yep, she's all FIRECleaned up, conditioned, ready to go. Through the process, I still got quite a bit of gunk off, so it did what it said it would do, that it would continue to remove carbon. So I'm curious to see how it does while shooting and how cleanup is, and I'll for sure have a follow-up video on that. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe. And if you want to get a hold of me, the best way is on Facebook, facebook.com/NSC85. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Any questions, leave them below. Have a good day.